Today is the second lesson we're going to have on Android Academy. My name is Oguz, and I would like to talk about Android Studio. So let me share my screen. Okay, I guess you can see my screen. Okay. So what are we going to do? Today we will open Android Studio. I will show you how to open a new project. I will also show you how to download and just open a third-party project as well. I will also show you the details about Android Studio, how we're gonna use it and stuff like that. So basically, once you open Android Studio, you might have a different view than this, because this is the latest Android Studio, but it doesn't matter. You will have something like this. When you will and as the buttons are self-explanatory, I guess you can create a new project here and open another one here. The most recent projects you open will be shown in this list. And yeah, that's it. If you want to create a new project, let's go from that first. We are clicking on the new project. We have these options. For the sake of simplicity, I will go with the no activity first. But you can also play with these options, which is basically generating some code and layout files for you. So let's click on this, no activity, and next. The second thing after you create a project would be giving a name to your project. So it could be basically anything, but just prefer selecting names that is self-explanatory. So it would be second Android Academy lesson, okay? And we will also have a package name here. It's basically self-generating according to the name of the project, but this is actually an important aspect. So the package name is supposed to be unique for all the projects. What does it mean? Because we are using this package name to upload the projects to the Play Store, Android Play Store. So it could be actually anything, but it needs to be unique. But you can obviously change this afterwards. Then you're selecting a save location here. Then you're selecting a Kotlin, the language you want to use, Java or Kotlin. And there is a minimum SDK. Which is the Android versions. If you will click on this, you can see the phones and the devices and their OS versions actually. So the minimum that would be supported for us. I mean, it could be anything, but let's select 24, for example. Here, after selecting this, you are seeing how much of the devices are supported. Well, this is an estimation. Actually, this, it is supporting way more than this, but it says 73%, which is okay for us for now. So I'm creating a finish. And yes, we have our new project here. I will talk about everything you are seeing in the screen. If you will look down, you will see that Gradle download Gradle says, which we can also see it here, the details. So Android Studio is right now downloading some dependencies, which is the Gradle wrapper. As you can see, you don't know what it means yet, but it doesn't matter. Another thing here is there is this terminal window, which you can write some scripts and stuff, which you don't need to know now. The problem stop will show you if you will have any problems throughout the build. To do is after you have the files, you can just add some to-do items for in order to keep track of your process, for example. You can stop the build here. What was it? Filters. Yeah, there are filters here too. The others is I will show you right after the project will be opened. It's supposed to start now. If you will go to the top view here, you can check your Android Studio version from about, check for updates, as you can check the preferences. Actually, let's check. Here, you can basically set anything, the colors of the Android Studio, how the visual, how it will appear to you visually, or you can check the tools, the emulators, or there are some experimental settings that's coming to Android, the languages, build versions, the plugins, etc. I mean, you can play with this obviously, but just know that it is here in Android Studio tab. In file, you can have the most of the basic activities here. Like as we open a new project, you can open the new project in this new project tab. You can open a new project from here, for example, which I will show you right after this. You can, yeah, there are other things. So which I will talk about it later, actually, like this invalidate cache and restart might be important sometimes, or reloading all from disk, because sometimes the files that are changed manually might not appear here. Okay. So yeah, you need to wait a little bit more. Also here you can see some of the shortcuts as you can use. For example, double clicking on shift button is a very useful thing. So you can basically search any class within your project. And navigation bar, recent files, which is, you can reach the recent files from here too. Well, there are other tabs too. And yeah, let me show you some other stuff. Here, once we will have everything, like the emulator, for example, or a phone, if we can connect the phone to Android Studio, you will see it here. Now it is grayed out because these are not active yet, because we are still configuring the project. Normally things are not that slow, but for the first project, it usually is. From this part is basically the shortcut for all Android Studio features. So you can also find those on this tools window and run window, basically. Here, the Sdk Manager is the place where you are configuring your emulators. So let's click here. As you can see, I have two emulators here, which I will not get into details, but once you will have, you can also create new virtual devices and start running them and define their OS versions and resolutions. Another thing would be, yeah, you can search things here. Okay, finally, it seems like it is going to end. Okay, now that our build is successful, we will, yes, we are importing some new things. Okay, yes, finally it's done. Okay, here in the build, you can see the warnings. For example, if we would have some problems on the build, you could also see them here. By clicking on this button again, you will just minimize it, by the way. We have this log cat, which will be very useful in the future, is showing the logs coming directly from the device. Since we don't have any attached phone right now, we don't see anything. You can check the devices, the list of devices here. If you're running more than one application, for example, you can see all the process here. You can also filter out the logs that are coming from the phone, which we will talk in more detail later. Here in the left-hand side, you can see, actually, this is the most important window, which is the app window. So our application is in this folder. We have Java folder. Our class is supposed to be defined in this folder, the first folder, which is the doesn't have any kind of test abbreviation here. The class is supposed to be here. In this other folders, right now there are some auto-generated classes. As you can see, you can have the tests, but we will talk about them later. In this, the other folder, in the rest folder, you can see the Drawables which means some images. In values, you can see some colors predefined. These are the hexadecimal codes of colors, which you can also see them here. And you can also actually, by clicking them, you can set them. In the strings, you can just define your the texts that are going to be used on the application, which I will talk about this later, why this is important, what we need to do with this information. Here, if you will click on this button, you can also change the visual, how the project will appear to your eyes. For example, you can, if you will just click on project files, you can see everything as it is on the file system. So actually, there are more of those, as you can see, a lot of folders here. Well, we will talk about the details of these, but as you can see, there are like multiple folders with a little bit different names. These are all defining. If once you check them from the Android view, you can also see them as this only as a one folder. And basically, that's the difference, because these are all having the same name, but these are for different configurations. So different fonts, different screen sizes uses different images. Basically, that's the difference. We will talk about this, no worries. So in map means actually the launcher icons are coming here. The drawable folder here are the global drawables. Drawable meaning that it could be the icons, it could be the XML files that are defined, that some images defined. For example, in this case, these are vector drawables. You don't need to understand them, but you can see the here on the right hand side how it seems. You can also click one of those to change the view, like code. This is the code, split or design. Design will only show this one. For example, if I will just close everything here, I can just click on this button to find exactly where my file is. That's another cool trick in Android Studio. So anyway, if we will just come into this Java folder, right click here and click new, we can just create a class. We can also create other things, obviously, but we shouldn't create our other things inside the class folders. Another feature would be, you can also do this trick, just right click on the screen on the files, and you can see these options, which are like basic file functions are one of these, but you can also see the history of the files from the local history, or you can just refactor, rename, or generate some things using. So like, I'm gonna leave this to you. If you click on this side, you will see annotate, which actually will show some details about the class. If this will have history, for example, who wrote this class, when it is written. So I guess this is enough for this part. I also want to show you how we are dealing with opening a new project. For example, I was having this, yes, here. You can see I found some code, which you can basically just search for architecture samples in Google and find the same thing. I can just click this code and press download zip, and it will be downloaded to some place. Then it will be zip, obviously, so you need to open this, extract the code. Then once you will come back to Android Studio, you can just click on open, or you can also press on open recent if you already have some projects. I press on open. I can basically go to downloads here and then just open a new project. That's the project that I downloaded. Let's do it very fast. Okay, as you can see, this was very fast because I opened this project before. Yes, so this one is already having some code, as you can see here. What else we can do? Yeah, I can show you a couple of more things. For example, this structure is another tab that could be useful. It is showing you the main functions and the variables of the classes you have. It would be different basically if you will click on in res folder right now, you see that we have more folders. For example, layout. This is basically how our project would be seen to the people. Here, structure shows a different view, the different context, as you can see. So yeah, that's basically it. Obviously, we have way more functions. You can just play with them. For example, you can just, one of the easiest things is going to the tools that there is this ABD Manager for opening emulators, or Sdk Manager for downloading the necessary build tools for Android Studio. But these are, we will talk about them later. You can just play with these now. Open a new project, delete these classes, or create new ones. You can just right click here, or just check these all these options, and you can delete them. Obviously, everything can be reversible, so don't worry about that. And that's it for this second class. If you have any questions, you can always ask me through Slack. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.